you'll survive. Poisoned Productions.
A sea nymph in mythology is a female nature deity of the sea, a female spirit of the sea waters. The Nereids were 50 sea nymph daughters of Nereus, the old man of the sea. They were goddesses of the sea's rich bounty and protectors of sailors and the fishermen, coming to the aid of those in distress. So I just added a bit of pros-aide to the back of my mask and then applied that to my face. And now I'm just going around the perimeter with liquid latex. So I should have done a lot more layers of liquid latex than I've done. And right now I'm just adding cotton over my eyebrows and applying liquid latex underneath and over it to create like a more prominent brow bone. But what I should have done for the like mask tentacle piece is done multiple layers of liquid latex, because I just did a thin layer and then applied third degree over top of that, and it did not stick well enough. It actually it doesn't fall off, but it starts to peel off through the tutorial. But so after it starts to do that, then I added honestly 10 layers of liquid latex, and I added a bit of cotton in there just to reinforce it. And then it was perfectly fine, and it was definitely stuck to my face. But like I said previously, if I would have extended the mask so it went out onto my cheeks a bit more, I think it would have had a bit of a better hold. I just think on my nose it just wasn't enough to hold the mask there. But with the multiple layers of liquid latex, we still made it happen. Now I'm just powdering everywhere that I've applied the third degree or liquid latex, just to make it not sticky anymore. And I'm just using baby powder, but you can use an actual face powder if you want to, but baby powder will just have a bit of a whiter pigment to it, but honestly it works just fine. Now I'm just adding more cotton after the previous cotton has dried, just so it's easier to work with, and then applying liquid latex over that, again just blending it out just so I have a bit more of a prominent brow, because my eyebrows are a little bit itty bitty. Now I'm just painting over, well, right now I'm powdering my brows because they are now dry, but now I'm just painting around everywhere that hasn't quite set yet with this metallic blue that I have. It works really well, but you don't want to get it too watery or else it does get quite streaky, which isn't like the other Mayron Paradise paints that I have, so definitely just watch out for that. Just make sure it's a bit of a thicker consistency. And then because in the places where the third degree was, the paint wasn't really taking, I decided to use a cream on that instead. So I took a dark blue cream from the Makeup Forever Flash palette and just put it on the spots that had the third degree, or any liquid latex that didn't want to take the color. And then I powdered that down afterwards, and then I applied the face paint on top of that, just so that it had a different base to stick to. And adding in this extra layer made the face paint stick a lot better than the first time around, so it actually worked out really well. Now I'm just powdering all of that, like I said, all of the cream paint, because you need to set cream paints or they won't dry. And so once it's set, then it is okay to go over it with the face paint, just so that the color really sticks. Now I'm taking this weird sponge-like thing, and first I go over with black, just creating some contours in the skin, just following my natural bone shadows and all that good stuff. And I also go back in with the metallic blue that I had and just go over some of the dark spots, just so they aren't as stark and black. And then I go in the eye sockets just to darken them a little bit for some pre-shadowing. You just kind of want to get like a rough outline down with these. It really does add a lot of good, cool skin texture though, so I really do recommend using like different types of sponges and finding what works for you. Now I'm just using a cream white face paint and dabbing that on all over the high points of my body. So like on the bones, on the brow bones, the nose, the cheeks, etc., etc. And then I am going to go in with a brown and also add that to the shadowy parts, just because I like using more than one color for shadows and highlights, just because I think it adds a bit more dimension. If you just use like black and white to highlight and contour, kind of makes it a bit like one-dimensional, even though you are still adding shadow. It's just like, I don't know, there's like so many real different colors in like the real world that like I think it just adds more when you add them to makeup. So yeah, and I'm just taking that brown, like I said, and going in all over on the shadows and in certain spots, just deepening them and adding a bit more color to it. And now I'm just going in with an orange and just kind of going like where the dark meets the highlights. I don't use this absolutely everywhere, just in certain spots. And now I'm taking my previously made like head tentacles crown thing, and it is made of gelatin. And trust me when I say this, girl, the only thing that will stick gelatin is other gelatin. Like warm up some gelatin and use it as glue, because pros-aide doesn't hold it well, spirit gum doesn't hold it well, liquid latex doesn't hold it that well, and neither does even hot gluing it. So lesson learned, if you're working with gelatin, just keep working with gelatin. It can be super frustrating when it doesn't want to stick. But basically, I applied gelatin to the front part of the tentacle where it touches my head and the back part of the tentacle where it touches my head, because I did want them like off my head in the middle, if that makes sense, so that you could see through the tentacles. I didn't want them completely flat on my head. I just thought it would be cooler this way. But yes, trust me when I say you want to use gelatin to glue gelatin down. It is a nightmare otherwise. And yeah, it was not a very fun time. Like what does Bunny say? 2 out of 10, do not recommend. So here's where I'm going back over the face piece and just adding more liquid latex, because it was starting to like peel away. So there's gonna be like these awkward 2 white strips through the tutorial for a while, just because the liquid latex was drying, honey. Now I'm just taking NYX's Primal Black eyeshadow, blah, couldn't get that out, and just darkening the eye holes, like, because they're really like sockets that are sunken into our little sea creature nymph thing going on. And again, just adding more layers of liquid latex. I literally added like 10 layers. It was crazy, but it stuck, and that's what matters. So now to add things to your body, you have to literally take a makeup wipe and wipe away the paint, and then add the liquid latex, and then add whatever you're gluing, because if you just put the liquid latex over paint, it just doesn't adhere to it, because the paint makes it too slippery, and the liquid latex just like doesn't actually adhere to anything. Like it needs to adhere to the bald cap, and I don't think it can do that with that extra layer of paint in between. And you think it's not gonna ruin your life, but it totally freaking is. So trust me when I say you just want to wipe away the makeup in the spots that you're gonna lay down the glue. Now, for putting on the pearls that you saw a couple minutes ago, I just used spirit gum and they attached perfectly fine, but for heavier pieces with liquid latex, you definitely wanna remove that like layer of face paint in between the two. So yeah, I just placed them randomly throughout the crown, like in between the tentacles, and then I did do a couple on my shoulder and some going up my neck, just to add like that this sea creature has been like in the ocean for a while, and like literally like crustaceans and plants are starting to grow on her. I thought so anyways. I literally was like considering making this a dude tutorial, because it literally looked like a guy until I put these lashes on, and then I was like, yes, hunty, yes. I mean, to be fair, it could totally definitely still be a dude. Like, I mean, it's a sea creature, it can really be anything, but I just thought it was a little bit more feminine, I should say. Not a girl, but more feminine. And I did sketch out a drawing before I created this, and this is basically what I worked from. It's not identical, but it is pretty damn close. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys are too, and I hope you learned something. Also, don't forget to check out my other video where I explain to you how I create all the accessory pieces that I used in this. I don't show video clips of it, but I do explain it pretty well. But for future videos, I do hope to actually show you exactly step by step how I made everything. Unfortunately, it just didn't happen this time, but I think it will still be useful for you guys to hear how I did everything. So yeah, definitely go check that out.
That's it, that's all guys. If you enjoyed this look, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see more videos like this. And then I do throw in more practical ones like hair tutorials and things like that every now and then. Yeah, and don't forget to check out my Instagram, poison_productions, for like other makeup looks that I don't necessarily have time to do a full video for. But yeah, I think that's it guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.